Dear learners, welcome you all to the today's session on first line management or supervisory management. The learning objectives of the session are to understand the levels of management, to understand the functions of first line management or supervisory management, to know about the roles of supervisors, to understand the skills of the supervisory management, and to be aware about the difference between the good and not so good supervisors. Let us start with levels of management. Levels of management refers to the line of division that exists between various managerial positions in organization. People of an organization are arranged in an hierarchy and they all have the relationship of superior and subordinate, except the person at the topmost position who is superior alone and person at the lowest level who is subordinate alone. As such, there are as many levels to the organization as the number of superior in a line of command. However, for the sake of simplifying these levels, the levels can be merged into a specific categories on the basis of the nature of functions performed and authority enjoyed. These categories represent different set of levels. According to Brecht, levels of management can be classified into three categories, namely top management, middle management and supervisory level or first line management. This session is on first line management or supervisory level. However, I shall prefer to give brief on top management and middle management too before going into the details of the first line management. Top management. Top management is made up of senior level executives of an organization. Job titles such as Chief Operating Officer, Chief Executive Officer, Chief Financial Officer, President or Vice President are commonly used by top managers in organizations. In addition, Board of Directors also belongs to top management. A board is elected by shareholders and is responsible to them as their agent for managing the affairs of an organization. These are the positions which hold the most responsibility within an organization. At top management level, the vision, mission and goals of the organization are established to fit the resources available with the organization. Top management is responsible for overall management and performance of all functions of the organization. Thus, top management can be defined as a person or group of people who direct and controls an organization at the highest level. Now comes middle management. Middle management is the intermediate management level of an hierarchical organization. That is, it stands between top management and first line management. This level is subordinate to the senior management, which may be also called as supervisory level of management. Middle managers are accountable to top management for their department's function. They provide guidance to lower level manager and inspire them to perform better. The number of levels within the middle management depends on the size of the organization. Bigger the size of the organization, greater is the number of levels of middle management. This level of management is accountable for the performance of various functions of the organization so that the top management gets enough time for integrating overall functioning of the organization. This level of management is actually sandwiched between top and bottom levels of management. Managers at this level feel pressure from top management to meet their expectations related to goals accomplishment. They also feel pressure from lower level of management, as it puts pressure over the middle managers for accommodating their ideas and views. Now comes our main topic, that is first line management. This level of management is also known as lower level management or bottom level management. This level is the last level of the organizational hierarchy. This level acts as a link between the management at middle levels and the operational labor. This is why this level is also represented as the operation level of management. Managers at this level perform the vital function of supervision and inspection of all activities in order to control the operational staff or workers or operative employees. And this is why this lower level of management is also referred to as the supervisory management. Supervisors spend most of their time addressing the functions of the firm as instructed by the managers above them. They are responsible for maintaining better working conditions at the workplace, as well as for arrangement of the required resources, equipments and other plans for better performance of the workmen. The first line management consists of positions with names like supervisors, foremen and sometimes inspectors. This level of management can be classified into three categories, particularly in large organizations. These are like senior supervisors, intermediate supervisors and frontline supervisors. Supervisors or managers at this level are concerned with explaining the views of management to workers and the views of workers to management. Because of this reason, the job of a supervisor becomes more complex than other levels of management. Management treats him the man of workers, while workers treats him the man of management. Now comes the functions of supervisory level of management. As per the American Heritage Dictionary, function is defined as the action or purpose for which a person or thing is suited or employed. As per the Cambridge Dictionary, function is defined as the natural purpose of something. For example, the function of a teacher is to teach, the function of a policeman is to maintain law and order, the function of a judge is to give judgment. Functions are associated with the different roles. Functions means there are different expected behaviors in terms of actions which are associated with a particular role. An individual can play different roles in different contexts, and each role has different functions associated with it. As such, the functions which are performed by a supervisor include various actions or duties which are actually performed by a person under his or her main role of being a supervisor. The different functions of first line management or supervisory management are various in number. Now I shall be taking these different functions one by one. First one I am going to discuss is about communication link. Supervisor function is to act as a link between the working employees and the upper management levels as they pass on the information related to the needs, grievances and other relevant matters to the decision making persons available in the hierarchy of the organization. This level also acts as a link for the flow of information to be passed on from the upper management level to the working class of the organization. Supervisors thus acts as a facilitator in communication process in case of bottom up approach, that is from lower level to upper level, as well as in case of top down approach, that is higher level to lower level. The next is assistance. Supervisor assists the middle level management in performing various managerial functions. For instance, in case of the staffing function, they provide all the relevant information on what is needed in terms of the number and quality of the employees. The next function is coordination. Since supervisors are directly responsible for the day-to-day activities of the labor, they are expected to make the working employees perform effectively and efficiently. In order to ensure the right level of productivity, supervisors need to take all the measures which ensure coordination among different levels of management as well as across the different departments of the organization. The next function is about building and maintaining human relations. Being in the lower level of management, they are in direct link with the operatives and they are also in direct link with the middle level management. Since they are the linking pin between two sets of group working at different levels, they need to have human skills which should be sensitive enough to understand the needs and expectations of the immediate connected groups. Supervisors' aptitude of understanding can only help maintain the right balance with respect to the work performance of the workers and expectations at the managerial level. The next function is distribution of work. Supervisor is a person who understands well the workflow at the ground level. He is the person who knows well the workers and their working abilities on field. He performs thus the division of labor, keeping in view the efficiency of the human resources and other resources in mind. The next function is handling of grievances. In any group where people are working, there is every possibility for the occurrence of grievances. Grievance is a real or imagined cause for complaint, especially unfair treatment. Supervisors are the first managerial level where the grievances of the operatives are received. Supervisors are given the authority to sort out the grievances which do not require intervention of the upper managerial level. The next function is resource allocation and setting relationship. Supervisors are supposed to place requisition of the resources which are required by the workers to perform on field. So the resources pertaining to the need of workers are required to be finally allocated by supervisors. They are also required to establish the right kind of the relationship among the procured resources so that the resources are utilized effectively and efficiently. The next function is providing adequate working conditions or work conditions. The appropriate and adequate work condition for the workers are needed for the optimum performance of the workers, which actually yield to the overall performance of the organization. The appropriateness and adequacy of the working condition needs to be ensured by a supervisor. In this way, he also ensures the safety and security of the workers. The next function is motivation. In spite of recruiting the right people at right place, there can be chances that the worker recruited may be having some inhibitions towards their 100% work performance. This may be due to some organizational reasons or due to some personal reasons. In order to remove such bottlenecks in the workers, the supervisors needs to motivate the workers by clearing their doubts and sometimes fueling them with encouragement through verbal appreciation or through reward based system. The next function which I am going to discuss is leadership and guidance. A supervisor is the leader of workers under him. He leads the workers and influences them to work at their best level. He also guides the workers by fixing production targets and by providing them instructions and guidelines to achieve those targets. The next function is controlling. Controlling is an important function performed by supervisors. This includes recording the actual performance against the time schedule, checking of progress of work, finding out deviations if any, and making solutions. If not independently solved, reporting it to top management. Reporting is an important function of a supervisor, as he is supposed to report about the cost, quality, output, performance, etc. to the management. The next function is introducing new work methods. The supervisor has to be conscious about the environment of market and competition presents. Therefore, he can innovate the techniques of production. He can shift the workers into fresh schedules whenever possible. He can also try his best to keep on changing and improving to the physical environment around the workers. This will result in higher productivity and satisfying working conditions. The next function is enforcing discipline. A supervisor can undertake many steps to maintain discipline by regulating checks and measures, strictness in orders and instructions, keeping an account of journal discipline, and punishment for the indisciplined workers. Now comes the roles of supervisors. Role can be defined simply as a part played by someone in a particular situation. We all play different roles in different situations. For instance, at home, we play the role of a parent if we have kids around, and at times as child if we have parent with us. At work, we play the role of an employee or as an employer. Role thus refers to the expected set of behaviors embedded in a particular position. In context of the professional environment, it refers to the different part played by a person. For example, the role of a teacher may involve mediator of learning, disciplinarian, and sometimes counselor as well. The different roles which a supervisor plays in his work situation include the role of educator, patron, coach, counselor, and director. Now we shall take up these roles of supervisor one by one. The first one is educator. A supervisor plays the role of educator when he gives induction training to the new employees. During this training, he imparts instructions about the processes of the task to be carried out. He also gives information on the culture of the organization to the newcomers. He plays the role of educator in case of passing on the information regarding the policy matters framed at the top level. As a patron, a supervisor performs the role of a patron when he provides all the support needed for the career growth of the workers working under his supervision. Now the next role is coach. A supervisor acts as a coach to his employees when he explains, encourages, plans and guides in the path of achieving organizational goals. Counselor. The next role is counselor. Supervisor performs the role of a counselor whenever there is some problem occurring relating to personal or interpersonal issues. Since this is something normal to happen in case of group of individuals working together, so counseling is something which is the most often performed role of a supervisor. Director is the next role. In this role of director, a supervisor is required to perform the action of directing. Directing is about giving command and is normally used when problems continue even after having used the tool of counseling. During directing conversations, supervisors should be calm and serious in his approach. Supervisors should keep record of all the communication made under this role. Now let us move on to the skills of supervisor. As per the Merriam-Webster dictionary, skill is the ability to use one's knowledge effectively and readily in execution or performance. So, skill refers to the learned ability to perform some actions at certain level of expectations. Since supervisor has various functions to perform under the varied roles, and moreover he has to perform various sub roles under the main role of supervisor, therefore a supervisor needs certain skills or abilities to perform these varied roles and the corresponding functions. The various skills of supervisors are like excellent communication, coaching skills, interpersonal skills, conflict resolution skills, leadership skills, critical thinking skills, information technology based skills, time management skills, resource management skills, etc. If these skills are analyzed, these can be placed under headings of people skills, technical skills and administrative skills. This categorization of skills gives a skill framework of supervisors. Under people skill comes communication skills, coaching skills, interpersonal skills, conflict resolution skills and leadership skills. Under technical skills comes information technology based skills, business analysis skills, time management skills. Under administrative skills come project management skills, resource management skills and performance of various managerial functions like planning, organizing, staffing, leading and controlling. Now, after finishing these functions, roles and skills, what differentiates a good supervisor from not so good supervisor, or say the difference between effective and ineffective supervisor? Effective supervisors are the ones who meet the deadlines set for the production, who keeps their workers motivated and full of energy to perform as team members. Good supervisors create atmosphere of positivity. They create cohesiveness among the main member and as such influence the retention of staff, whereas ineffective supervision occurs when the supervisor does not perform his role and functions properly, and this may cause reduced productivity because there is lack of coordination among employees, lack of motivation, high level of absenteeism because workers tries to avoid the negative atmosphere. Ineffective supervision may result workplace conflict among workers because there is no team cohesion. There are problems related to workflow between departments because there is lack of interest to focus on achieving organizational goals. There are safety issues because supervisors do not pay attention to the working condition of the workers. Resentment from workers towards upper management because the communication is not facilitated well between the workers and upper managerial levels. Dear learners, in this session, we learnt about levels of management, functions and roles of first line management or supervisory management and about their skills. This is all about the session on first line management. Thank you so much.